Boom. What up, everybody? We are going to hear from our lovely president tonight. And I thought I wanted to share the farewell speech. I know it's kind of when no one really wants to hear from Joe. And with Joe, uh, we 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 just want this era over, right? And so we want Monday to get here, the inauguration to get done, and we can start moving forward. And we don't have these shenanigans that is being played. But it is important to understand the other side, especially. I think we're going to see some interesting stuff with this with Joe. I think he's going to give you some cards that the left is going to try to play with Donald Trump over the next 4 years. So, with that, just here to hear him lie and mumble. You mean like any other day? Like, welcome, Joe. I hope Joe just gets lost on the stage and then wanders around one last time. Can we have that, please? Is that too much to ask? What up, everybody? See you guys in here. Share this out for me. We need to get everybody in here to watch this. I know a lot of people are going to be resistant because they don't want to hear from Joe. But when I saw this announcement today, well, my wife mentioned it to me that he was going to talk tonight. And I'm like, maybe we need to listen to it. I really think that he's going to be laying out what the game plan will be against Donald Trump over the next 4 years. But to remind you guys, Donald Trump only has 18 months, not 4 years. We have 18 months to get a lot of this stuff fixed. We don't have 4 years. So a lot of this has got to get done right now. Well, thank you, Barbara. Hey, Sarah. It's a good laugh. It is always a good laugh. I love laughing at any politician, but especially idiots like Joe. But yeah, overall, this whole thing, it is going to be interesting. I expect some good stuff out of it. That we're going to be able to see the cards that they're going to be playing. Um, it's going to be very scripted, and Joe's not going to. He's just going to get to the point and walk away. I looked up the guide on CNN to see what CNN would do for the guide on TV, and CNN is only clipping out like 20 minutes for this talk. So I don't this speech, whatever you want to call it, the farewell address. Let me pull that up. I'm actually going to pull it up here on my other screen, and I'll tell you exactly how long CNN is scheduled this thing for. Hey, Kim. Hey, Sonia. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Let's see. CNN. Where are you? CNN has it going from 5:55 to 6:15 Mountain Time. So it's 5:50 right now Mountain Time. So we'll be going at it. We're not watching CNN. I just have White House YouTube page up on the other screen here. So we're gonna watch it from YouTube, and we'll see what Joe has to say. I don't anticipate a whole lot of good things. I bet it's going to be pretty divisive. He's going to take credit for all of the stuff that he's already tried to today. If you guys haven't seen the news with Israel and Hamas, with the with Israel and Hamas, how they got the ceasefire agreement done, we'll find out if they really go through with it. And then, of course, immediately today, as soon as that happens, as soon as the ceasefire talk comes out, Joe Biden addresses the nation and says, "I did this." Do you guys think Joe actually did the ceasefire? You guys want to throw it in the comments? Throw a 1 in the comments if you think Joe did the ceasefire. A 2 if you think Joe had nothing to do with it. So a 2 if Joe didn't do anything. What up, Sandra? It's going to be a long 4 days. Yeah, Ed. We're going to find out. Monday is also going to be interesting. So we're going to find out how Monday goes. But guess what, guys? Monday, I'm here. I am all here. Like, we will be going live and covering everything. I anticipate some fun stuff. We might ruffle some feathers because all of you know that I have no problem calling it out if Trump makes a bad decision, then he makes a bad decision. And he might with some executive orders on day one. I anticipate that. But we'll see. Look at all these twos. Yes, exactly. Yeah, as many as you want. Keep adding them. But yeah, we're just waiting for Joe. I think Trump should have waited till he got in so Joe couldn't take credit. Yeah, well, that's one of the biggest problems, right? Like we all know. Yeah, feel free, binary. I can set you as that. Let me. Well, wait a minute. I gotta find out what page you're on. You're probably on the truth page. We'll talk about it. We'll get it figured out. Um, but overall with this, oh, Bobby Sauce is on Timcast tonight. Damn it. Damn it. I want to watch Bobby Sauce on Timcast. Oh well, I'll turn that on after. Um, so everybody tune in to Timcast later. Bobby Sauce is on there. We all know he's a friend of the channel and been on with us multiple times. It's all right. We'll talk about it by an Airbnb. You're good. Not tonight. This is gonna be short and sweet. Nothing really to do, but and there's gonna be a lot more. DJT's little tweet didn't do anything. Joe. Dude, our our entire government is such a joke. It's a disaster. And these guys are trying to take credit so they can say, look what the Democratic Party has done. And look at what we achieved. 2026, we could do more for you. That's all they're trying to do is they're trying to stack up some wins right now so they can run on them in 2026. 2026 is a critical election. If we want to make a whole lot of change and progress in this country to where we are making things, we are fixing this country, 2026 is required to go more red. It's required. Now, my honest answer would be go yellow, but we're not that far yet. Let's get to red first and then we can go yellow. Because then we can just start pushing the government completely out of our lives and be like, leave us alone. We're going to do what we want. That would be a wonderful day. But yeah, overall, this whole thing, we're going to see what Joe has to say. I have it still over here. I'm just waiting for it to go live. What do you guys think? Let's throw it in the comments. Do you guys have any ideas of what to expect from Joe tonight? I expect he's going to be taking credit for sure the ceasefire. I think he's going to probably bring up student loan forgiveness because he's still trying to do that. The other thing that he might mention is also how he's trying to attack cigarettes right now. And I don't understand his whole position, like what he's trying to do with cigarettes and how he's trying to ban them. Like I don't smoke cigarettes, but if you want to, it's your choice. I'm not going to tell you you can't do it. That's all. I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, you do that. You're on your own. If you want to smoke a cigarette, smoke a cigarette. The only thing is I won't allow you to smoke a cigarette in my house. You can do it outside. But we'll find out. Those are the things. You guys don't have any suggestions right now on what you think Joe is going to be bringing up tonight? Nothing? He's going out with a bang of some sort. Oh, yeah. Well, look at what he's already trying to do. Take credit for stuff that he had no involvement in. Donald Trump made a bigger impact on that ceasefire than Joe Biden did. Donald Trump said, "Don't wait until I'm in office. I'll fix it." And we all believe that. We think he would. I think he would from a like one thing Donald Trump has shown around the world is leadership and strength against especially enemies. So when it comes down to those situations, I think everybody is going to be banking on Donald Trump being right. And I think he is in those scenarios. I don't believe in the tariff idea, what he pushes. I don't think that it's a solution. But this one, with how he handles wars and negotiations with other countries and gets solutions in place there for peace, like peace through strength, I think that goes a long ways. And I think that is where this situation is coming from. Is Donald Trump's probably like, no, I'll handle it. This will come to a complete stop. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm looking forward to be your neighbor in the future. Yes, soon. Maybe one day. What's the culture like up there in Canada, David? Do you think that Canada will end up going that way? I saw Pierre. I think it's Pierre. He's like, no, we're not going to become a 51st state of the United States. And same with Trudeau. They both said that. Which I get it. Being a countryman, you're going to fight. You're going to want to keep your country. You're not going to want to join another one. If anybody wanted to take the United States and be like, you will join us. No. United States is ours. We're not joining you. We'll take over other countries and you can join us. But we're not joining other nations and taking on their leadership. Not at all. Bingo card of what? Falling down the stairs, mumbling. We can yell. He's going to get angry maybe at some point tonight. Yeah, there's a few things on that bingo card we can think of. I don't have one. He's going to be talking about nothing. Oh, well, that's Joe Biden for you, right? What Joey's going to say or do. Yeah, well, that I should have thought about that. Definitely a whisper. I agree with that one. Trump trolling. I really want Canada to join the United States. I think it'd be cool. But I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. But we'll see. We'll see. We will say look at a lot. Look a lot. Yeah. There's some things. I hope he bashes Kamala. I hope he comes out and says something that my vice president was useless and she did nothing. I would love that. It would make my day if he came out and said that. Yeah, overall, this entire... I'm glad we are finally here. I see you, Chris. I see you, buddy. Yeah. I expect rambling, that's for sure. But we're going to find out. He's not going to be up talking long per CNN and the guide that they have set for this. So, and I bet you he's going to be prompt. We got minute and a half until he will be, well, until the scheduled time. So I bet you he will be coming up and speaking very, very soon. And then we'll just get it over with and we'll see. Hey, Cindy. They're probably drugging him up. I don't know if they're going to be drugging him up this time. They might just let it expose itself and let him try to talk. Because then that can give them some comfort in saying that they made the right decision. My vote is 20 minutes. You think 20 minutes? CNN only put it up for 15 on the guide. And so we'll find out. They took the first 15 minutes of Anderson Cooper's show. And so, yeah. No need now. Yeah, we'll find out, right? We're just going to be waiting and seeing. So you guys know, I have this on my screen over here onto the side. I'm just waiting for it. But I'm excited, guys. I'm looking forward to the change on Monday, that we can start making some progress going in a different direction as a country. I'm hoping we get a lot done, but there's a lot of people in the way. How many people are on the YouTube page? 2,700. Here, I'll pull it up. Right here. 2,700. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll give him a thumbs down already. Thumbs down. You are 22 minutes late, Joe Biden. Not minutes, seconds. So you got a thumbs down for that one. Over or under on 6 minutes? You think 6 minutes? I don't know. 6 minutes late, or that's how long he will talk is 6 minutes. Facts. Well, it's at 3,000 now. 3,100. That is a lot for someone that got 81 million votes, right? You only can get 3,100 people to watch you on YouTube, but you got 81 million votes. Get the hell out of here. No way. No way. I'm excited too, Cindy. We're going to see. Like, it's going to be interesting. I think it can go really well. I think Donald Trump learned some good lessons in 2016, obviously, because I voted for him this time. But I, I think there's a chance that we might get some good things out of it. My biggest thing: shut down 70% of the government, like Doge was talking about. Let's do it. Let's shut it down. Let me check CNN real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything. Bear with me a second. Yeah, they're just talking on CNN. So Joe's late. Joe is late. It's a full stadium for Joe. Well, he's got 3,500 now. So if his stadium was full at 3,100, we're in trouble. Mumble talk, tripping. I hope that it would be hilarious if he falls. I would laugh. I will laugh. Joe is on. CNN doesn't have it yet. This doesn't show it yet. Oh, here he is.
I'm speaking to you tonight from the Oval Office. Before I begin, let me speak to important news.
Can you guys hear it? Give me a thumbs up in the chat, please.
After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, by my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office, from this desk as president. And I've been thinking a lot about who we are and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago in New York Harbor, an iron worker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers,
as loud as it can go, unfortunately.
Stonemasons, engineers. They built not just a single structure, but a beacon of freedom. The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was built not by one person, but by many people from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy weather, to stand the test of time because storms are always coming. She sways a few inches, but she never falls into the current below. An engineering marvel. The Statue of Liberty is also an enduring symbol of the soul of our nation, a soul shaped by forces that bring us together and by forces that pull us apart. And yet, through good times and tough times, we've withstood it all. A nation of pioneers and explorers, of dreamers and doers, of ancestors native to this land, of ancestors who came by force, a nation of immigrants who came to build a better life, a nation holding the torch of the most powerful idea ever in the history of the world, that all of us are created equal, that all of us deserve to be treated with dignity, justice, and fairness, that democracy must defend and be defined and be imposed, moved in every way possible. Our rights, our freedoms, our dreams. But we know the idea of America, our institution, our people, our values that uphold it are constantly being tested. Ongoing debates about power and the exercise of power. But whether we lead by the example of our power or the power of our example, whether we show the courage to stand up to the abuse of power or we yield to it. After 50 years at the center of all of this, I know that believing in the idea of America means respecting the institutions that govern a free society, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, a free and independent press, institutions that are rooted, they just might not reflect the timeless words, but they echo the words of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, rooted in the timeless words of the Constitution. We, the people, our system of separation of powers, checks and balances. It may not be perfect,
Checks
but
and
it's
balances.
maintained our
Unless
democracy for nearly 250 years, longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment. In the past 4 years, our democracy has held strong. And every day I've kept my commitment to be president for all Americans through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. I've had a great partner in Vice President Kamala Harris. It's been the honor of my life to see the resilience of essential workers getting us through a once-in-a-century pandemic, the heroism of service members and first responders keeping us safe, the determination of advocates standing up for our rights and our freedoms instead of losing their jobs to an economic crisis that we inherited. Millions of Americans now have the dignity of work. Millions of entrepreneurs and companies creating new businesses and industries,
no, you didn't.
hiring American workers, using American products. Together, we've launched a new era of American possibilities, one of the greatest modernizations of infrastructure in our entire history, from new roads, bridges, clean water, affordable high-speed internet for every American. We invented the semiconductor, smaller than the tip of my little finger, and now is bringing those chip factories and those jobs back to America where they belong, creating thousands of jobs. Finally, giving Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices for millions of seniors. And finally, doing something to protect our children and our families by passing the most significant gun safety law in 30 years and bringing violent crime to a 50-year low, meeting our sacred obligation to over 1 million veterans so far who are exposed to toxic materials, and to their families, providing medical care and education benefits and more for their families. You know, it will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come. At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration, a single term. More people have health
Mess
care
up
than
some
ever
more.
before. And overseas, we've strengthened NATO. Ukraine is still free. And we've pulled ahead of our competition with China, and so much more. I'm so proud of how much we've accomplished together for the American people. And I wish the incoming administration success, because I want America to succeed. That's why I've upheld my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example.
Sorry, Al, can't. It's
I
as high as
am
it goes.
glad that America's in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead.
Fair shot.
We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy, just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. Workers want rights to earn their fair share. You know, they were dealt into the deal, and it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, the most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. We've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that's exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake.
We already
Right
paid too
now,
much in taxes.
the The existential threat of climate change has never been clearer.
Oh,
Just
clear.
look across the country, from California to North Carolina. That's why I signed the most significant climate and clean energy law ever in the history of the world. And the rest
Why?
of the world is trying to model it now. It's working, creating jobs and industries of the future. Now, we've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both. The powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to
Facts.
eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis,
Yep.
to serve their own interest for power and profit. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward and push faster. There's no time to waste. It's also clear that American leadership in technology is an unparalleled source of innovation that can transform lives. We see the same dangers of the concentration of technology, power, and wealth. You know, his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable to protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence is the most consequential technology of our time, perhaps of all time. Nothing offers more profound possibilities and risks for our economy and our security, our society, for humanity. Artificial intelligence even has the potential to help us answer my call to end cancer as we know it. But unless safeguards are in place, AI could spawn new threats to our rights, our way of life, to our privacy.
You're too
how
old
we
to
work
talk
and how
about
we
AI.
protect our nation. We must make sure AI is safe and trustworthy and good for all humankind. In the age of AI, it's more important than ever that the people must govern. And as the land of liberty, America, not China, must lead the world in the development of AI. You know, in the years ahead, it's going to be up to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code, not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share. We need to get dark money. That's that hidden funding behind too many campaigns contributions. We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year term limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office.
Oh, you're mad.
The president's power is not limited.
Yes, it is.
It's not absolute, and it shouldn't be. And in a democracy, there's another danger to the concentration of power and wealth. It erodes a sense of unity and common purpose. It causes distrust and division.
Oh, the division that you
Participating in our
push.
democracy becomes exhausting and even disillusioning. And people don't feel like they have a fair shot. We have to stay engaged in the process. I know it's frustrating. A fair shot is what makes America, America. Everyone's entitled to a fair shot, not a guarantee, but just a fair shot, an even playing field.
Everybody
Going
does
as
have a
far
fair
as your
shot.
hard work and talent can take you. We can never lose that essential truth, remain who we are. I've always believed, and I've told other world leaders, America can be defined by one word: possibilities. Only in America do we believe anything is possible.
Would agree with
The
that,
kid with a
Terry.
stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claremont, Delaware, sitting behind this desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. That's the magic of America. It's all around us. Upstairs in the residence of the White House, I've walked by a painting of the Statue of Liberty I don't know how many times. In the painting, there are several workers climbing on the outstretched arm of the statue that holds the torch. It reminds me every day I pass it of the story and soul of our nation and the power of the American people. There's a story of a veteran. This is a veteran, the son of an immigrant, whose job was to climb that torch and polish the amber panes so rays of light could reach out as far as possible. He was known as the keeper of the flame. He once said of the Statue of Liberty, quote, speaks a silent universal language, one of hope that anyone who seeks and speaks freedom can understand. Yes, we sway back and forth to withstand the fury of the storm, to stand the test of time. A constant struggle, a short distance between peril and possibility. But what I believe is the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. It's up to us to make our dreams come true. Let me close by stating my gratitude to so many people, to the members of my administration, as well as public service and first responders across the country and around the world. Thank you for stepping up to serve. To our service members and your families, it's been the highest honor of my life to lead you as Commander-in-Chief. And of course, to Kamala and our incredible partner.
Incredible partner? You mean woman beater?
She and Doug have become like family. And to me, family's everything. My deepest appreciation to our amazing First Lady who's with me in the Oval today. For our entire family. You're the love of my life and the lives of my love. My eternal thanks to you, the American people. After 50 years of public service, I give you my word. I still believe in the idea for which this nation stands. A nation where the strength of our institutions and the character of our people matter and must endure. Now it's your turn to stand guard. May you all be the keeper of the flame. May you keep the faith. I love America. You love it too.
You love Ukraine.
God
Shut
bless
up.
you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you for this great honor.
Wow. They even messed that up. You hear the clear at the end? Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Fix this ugly view. There we go. Well, it's over. Kind of went as a little bit of what we talked about. He's going to make some digs. He tried to say he was going to unify, and he was unifying, but then he was pushing all the division. Hey, Joe, whoever wrote your script is super biased and has too much TDS, because I don't think Joe wrote that. Of course, somebody else did. And the other thing I want to hear in the comments, guys, in the comments, we're going to wrap this up here in just a minute. In the comments, I want to hear a 1 if you think that was pre-recorded earlier today, or a 2 if you thought that was just recorded just prior to going live. I want to know if you really thought this was recorded way earlier today. I think it was, because I bet you they ended up recording that probably multiple times. I don't think they get it. And then when Joe was talking about green energy and he passed the biggest bill, do you remember what Joe and Obama did in 2000? Well, during the Obama era? Do you remember a company called Solyndra? That's all green. That was all solar panels. That was all going to be everything. We gave them $535 million of taxpayer money, and then the company disappeared. It went bankrupt. That is an exact expectation that you should expect from the government when the government gets involved to create things. They gave away $535 million to somebody, probably one of their friends that created this company called Cylindra, and then they just embezzled it. That's all they did. And that's what Joe was probably doing again. He was hoping he was going to get a second term, but never did. Um, let's look at this. Look at all of these ones. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I think that this whole thing was just a one, it's checking the box what all presidents do so we can move on. But it was pre-recorded a long time ago, and they probably even did it multiple. It was pre-recorded. They got caught. Was reported on TS. What's TS? Am I missing something there? I'm not sure what TS is. Pre-recorded earlier today. Yep, got it. Take 23. Yeah, probably. Or the government loves the number 33, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did it that many times. Has to operate between 11 and 2 when meds are at the strongest point. Yeah. No, you don't have to be nice, Terry. That individual wouldn't be nice to you. So why do you have to be nice back? The government is our enemy, always has been. Facts. That is big facts. The government is never our friend. The government is never there for us. The government is always there for their friends and their special interests. Never us. It's funny how many people turn to the government and expect them to fix their problems. The government will never fix your problems. Ever. What about the 1.4, Billy? He would stumble and then be clear. Sure. So True Social. True Social. I got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not on True Social. That's why I didn't get TS. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The government needs to be gone. Well, we have a good chance that we can start pushing that direction starting Monday. We can get rid of a lot of the government. That's first time I can say I voted for somebody that has a chance of actually doing it. So we'll see how it all plays out starting on Monday. I thought we were supposed to believe those from the government were here to help us. Come on, man. That's if you that's if you believe in Joe Biden. Cuz even most people, the only problem is like most of you, this talk is going to continue through the next 4 years, and I'm going to remind you the government is not your friend. Even though you got the person you wanted as president, the government is still not your friend. I will remind you of that. And ultimately, it was a nice address until he started attacking and trying to do that, which that tells me that he never wrote that. Go back and look at the farewell address from all of the other presidents. A lot of them, for the ones that I remember that I researched and looked at, they weren't like this. Obama pushed a little bit of the negativity and a little bit of the division, but this one was far worse than what Obama's was. But Obama also is good with words and a very well spoken individual. So it could come across differently. But this one, I chalk it up as probably one of the worst. Right? Joe was awful. And when he started attacking, that's what you don't do. You just literally started talking about the division in this country, and we need to come together. And then you push the whole division topic. Really dumb. Really dumb. Besides the government, we have a serious moral issue in this country. If we could fix that, we'd be okay. I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. We really, if we can get morals back into society, we would fix a lot of our issues. Because a lot of these issues that we have are because we just don't have morals, so we don't have respect in society today compared to others. So it would help us a lot if we could bring that back. It's a shame that so many people can't see that. Just because we got who we wanted as president doesn't mean it's smooth sailing and everything changes. It's still the government at the end of the day, and it needs to be cut down big time. Big facts, man. Big facts. That is a straight truth right there. Right here. This whole thing. The government, even though you got who you wanted to elected, you got your person elected as president, you still have to take this into account. It's the government all the time, and the government is going to be doing the government things, and they're going to try to do what they can to remain in power and to keep you under their thumb, paying taxes and drinking your aspartame and moving on consuming your SSRIs. That's what the government wants you to do. We're not going to do that. But with this next administration coming in, there's good things that we can look forward to and we can promote and tell this next administration we're going to hold them accountable and make sure that they stick to what they told us they were going to do. I want to see a strong cut in the deficit, and I want to see a strong cut in the size of government in general. That is my biggest thing. Cut the size of government. AGA. And then Doge. Yes. Well, all right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. This wasn't going to be long. Obviously, we knew Joe Biden couldn't stay up late. It's 8:30 at his time. But it was I thought it was going to go well at the beginning. He started off nice, and then he started attacking people, especially Donald Trump, and implying that he's a bad guy. When really, Donald Trump is far better than he is. Far better than Joe Biden is. So we'll see how all this plays out. Monday, be on the lookout for Inauguration Day. We don't really have a whole lot of plans, very similar to what we did on Election Day. We just randomly went live throughout the day. I'm going to be covering a lot. I want to be on top of, on Monday, any executive orders that are signed after he's inaugurated. And he's officially our president. We're going to be signing a lot of executive orders. I'm not a fan of executive orders. I hate them. I don't think the president should be able to sign them. I think that executive orders really override our checks and balances that we have in our system to make sure that we are putting proper laws and restrictions in place. And we shouldn't do it. So we're going to dive through all of these executive orders on Monday, and we're going to find out. And I guarantee you, and Terry, yeah, said to be 100. You thought Donald Trump signed a lot of executive orders on day one. You thought Joe Biden signed a lot of executive orders on day one. Obama did it. They keep doing more every election. Every time we change presidents, they look at it and they're like, wait, how many did they do? Okay, I'm going to do 25 more. Every president has. And I encourage all of you, even if you guys supported Donald Trump, we have to discourage the use of executive orders. We shouldn't do them. So I discourage them, but there's nothing I can do to stop it until we pass the law to take away that power. So we're going to see on Monday all these executive orders that are going to get signed, how bad they are or how good they are. I will share all of that with you guys, of course, as always. Pizza, popcorn. Yeah, don't forget the whiskey. Don't forget the whiskey. I agree. He has to reverse all of Joe Biden's one. Joe Biden. Yeah, he will. That's common. Every president comes in, always reverses what he can with an executive order. And that's where when Joe Biden said he was going to free up Cuba and they were no longer going to be considered a terrorist. Remember, Obama tried to make Cuba really friendly with us to where we could actually travel to Cuba as Americans. I am in support of that. I don't think we need to continue what we did back in the 50s and 60s with Cuba. We could move on. And Canadians visit Cuba all the time and they love it. They say it's a beautiful place. Joe Biden wanted to free up Cuba, but Donald Trump doesn't like that. He put everything back and restricted Cuba again when he took over after Obama. So we're going to find out if Trump puts all of that back after what Joe Biden did. Yes, you do. Yeah, I was waiting for that, David. Canadians go to Cuba all the time, and I was making fun of them when I was in Montreal talking with a bunch of people I worked with. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to Cuba in a few weeks." And I'm like, "Why would you want to go to that shithole? Like, why?" And then they showed me pictures, and I'm like, "I want to go. Can I be Canadian for a day and go to Cuba? Because I can't get into Cuba, but I would really like to. It's a beautiful place. They don't have the infrastructure like we have, but it's a beautiful place. Cuba needs to be free. I don't disagree. I think we need to. I think we need to, but I don't think Trump will. I don't think Trump will do it. That's wishful thinking, Shannon. I'm gonna go with Trump is old school. My whole life, from my parents, my grandparents, and others that are older, they always told me they didn't like Cuba, and they're just holding a grudge against Cuba. That's that's my stance with it. Is I think they're just holding grudges with it against them, and they don't want to free them up. And then we could go there. We could go there. It's a great place. Well, we'll see, but you should have the option if you got the money to go. You should be able to. Should be. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. But be on the lookout on Monday. I'll be posting on X on when we go live and stuff like that. I'll try to get some stuff and some things out there. Be on the lookout of everything. Monday is going to be a big day. So you might not hear a whole lot from us this weekend, but Monday, you're going to hear it. And we're going to be live a lot. So be on the lookout. It's going to be a good day. We're going to see how all of this goes down. Have a great weekend if I don't get to talk to you before then, and we'll talk to you later.